Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right into this one. All right. Yeah, we got to start comparing. And the college world has reacted to the two quarterbacks we saw yesterday. Nico Iamaleava and Joey Aguilar. Now, I watched both games completely except for the last 5 minutes of UCLA, and I couldn't watch anymore because the game was pretty much over. And that was a late night. But I needed to watch Nico play. And both games kind of went the way I thought they would, although I thought Joey might throw an interception, but he did not. I kind of figured Nico would flash at times. Pretty much he did, but then he did a lot of Nico things too. Anyway, let's get into this and also see how people reacted over this game. And these two guys, and I've said it from day one, I need these two guys to stay super healthy. I don't even want them to get a hangnail because I want to watch these two quarterbacks play all year and see who came out better on the trade. Now, I'm going to show you some reactions all over the country over this, but let's take a look at Joey's numbers. 16 for 28, 247 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and he ran the ball 6 times for 34 yards. So let's see, he had about 281 yards total with the 3 tutties. And most importantly, finally, we got to go fast again.
Now, is there anyone out there who wants to go fast? Anybody?
I want to go fast.
Hey, get him a suit.
Ugh, it's been awful the last 2 years not being able to go fast. Joe Milton didn't like to go fast. I don't think Nico was ready to go fast. Let me tell you something. Joey had no problem at all. He ripped it down the field, and he was go, go, go. It was great to get back to that. And the fake injuries, oh, my God. I may have to do a whole show on that. The fake injuries by Syracuse were ridiculous, honestly. And I really didn't expect that from Fran Brown. Now, I will say this. It's effective. It will slow down a really super fast offense like Tennessee's. So I understand why he did it. But there was a couple times in there it was awful. Even the announcers were calling it out going, this is ridiculous. Like I said, man, it's frustrating. But anyway, let's see what folks had to say about Tennessee's output.
Dawn, for you, the stat told story.
I think it's pretty simple. Tennessee got the jump on Syracuse and never looked back. They were up 17-0. They were up 24-7. They were up 31-4. I believe they had 3 different 17-point leads. Their first 7 drives on offense were darn near perfection. Into Syracuse territory on 6 of their first 7 drives, 4 touchdowns, a field goal, a punt, and a lost fumble in Syracuse territory. That's about the only mistake they made the entire first half. 7.8 yards per play on those first 7 drives, 80.5 offense grade. They just had everything working. They did. Syracuse's defense, they just didn't stand a chance early in this game. Running the ball with 3 different really good backs, Deshaun Bishop, Star Thomas, Peyton Lewis, all of them got going. Joey Aguilar looked comfortable in this offense. And, I think with Aguilar, there are games, like as the vertical passer that he is a fit for this offense, which makes it interesting. And the big thing in this game was the ball security was good. Right. The only thing I'm going to be looking for all year from Joey Aguilar is ball security. If you can balance ball security with the vertical passing that Josh Heupel, the opportunities he's going to give you, it's going to look like this sometimes at Tennessee. They looked really good offensively in this game, and Aguilar looked comfortable. I think it's a simple vertical system that he's comfortable in, especially with the tempo. And if you got 3 running backs playing the way they played yesterday, I think Aguilar, he looked really comfortable. Just overall, this Tennessee offense, especially early in the game, I don't think you could ask for a whole lot more. They had the one.
Yeah, everybody was looking at the offense, and it was like Hendon Hooker was back. He's not as good a runner. He's not as accurate a passer, but he's Hendon Hooker light in that he likes to run. He makes some great throws. He does not overthrow the deep pass. If he does anything, he'll underthrow it a little bit, but he hit that one to Braylon Staley that was just gorgeous. And it reminded me of the old days, back when we would jump on teams right away. Last year, we had 3 games where we didn't score a point in the first half. 3 ball games.
No way.
To go out and just immediately score like that, boom, 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 that 2022 again in a way. So couldn't be more pleased to see that. Running backs, the 3-headed monster. Here's the thing. I know we didn't get Hyder. He went to Michigan.
It's got to be America's team.
Number 1 running back in the country. But we do have 3 5-stars coming in 2026 at least. And here's the thing. Do you really need to spend $600,000 to $800,000 on a running back when you can go out in the transfer portal and get a really good, solid running back like Star Thomas, and he comes in and looks fantastic? Deshaun Bishop out of Knoxville, 3-star, looks great. Peyton Lewis, super fast. He had a solid ball game, scored a touchdown. I just don't think it makes sense to spend money there. And I don't mind telling you right now, I'm glad we didn't give in to those demands, that $4 million plus that Nico wanted, because now we're going to talk about Nico. And while Nico did flash at times like he always does, he struggled. And it was a little bit rough. Let me show you his numbers first, then I'll get you a reaction from that. Nico was 11 for 22, 136 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He was their leading rusher, 13 carries, 47 yards. I thought he ran the ball pretty darn well, honestly. He's pretty fast for 6'6". And he made some great throws. And then he made some terrible throws. I tell you, this guy is a frustrating player to watch, especially if you're rooting for him or he's on your team, because you see that he's got the talent, but then he'll make some plays and make some throws where you're going, what in the world just happened right there? And he had a guy wide open for a touchdown, overthrew him.
Again.
And that's kind of par for the course. And it's difficult to watch and frustrating at times because it's just like he's just not taking advantage of those skills. Speaking of one guy that did take advantage of his skills, wow. This Dampier guy, 21 of 25, 206 yards, 2 touchdowns. Leading rusher for them, 16 carries, 87 yards, 5-yard average, 1 touchdown. He was fantastic. You want to talk about a guy worth $4 million. That dude looked unstoppable. His ability to run, I mean, he was like playing backyard ball against UCLA. They couldn't get really near him. He'd just dance around in the backfield, take off when he felt like it, and then hit his wide receiver or just, take off and get 7 or 8 yards. They didn't have an answer for him all night long. They scored at will.
Giggity.
And the scoreboard showed it. They kept the ball all night, and the times that UCLA did get it, they only scored 10 points. And it reminds me of how he played at UT, only he was in an offense that was easier to deal with for him. Now, this is Locked On UCLA. This guy sounds a little bit like me when talking about Nico. Now, granted, he talks about the defense a little bit. We had a great defense last year. UCLA's defense was non-existent last night. And part of that was that great quarterback play. But, he sees the flashes, so he wants to, give Nico every opportunity, and I understand that perfectly. But it's just, I don't know. We'll see.
Nico Iamaleava was fine for UCLA. But UCLA had no defense whatsoever as they got blown out at home by Utah in the season opener. UCLA came out and watched Utah go right down the field and score. Nico came down. The Bruins were aggressive right away, and they missed what could have been an easy touchdown early in the game to potentially give them an early lead. After that, no chances to take the lead. There were some swings in momentum, but the glaring things that UCLA struggled with was the inability to have Nico have any time to throw the ball. All right, Nico in this game, you look at the final numbers, 50% completion percentage, 136 yards, passing, 1 touchdown. He rushed it for almost 50 yards on the ground. There's craziness in this moment for Nico where it's like, oh man, even though he had close to 50%, there was no protection. There was no room for running the ball for a guy that was making every play to try and keep the Bruins in it when it was still early on. But the problem is, in this game, UCLA had no defense whatsoever. None.
Now, he's correct about one thing. The defense just wasn't there. And they didn't lose because of Nico. All right, let's just get that straight. This is not me ripping on Nico. But he played like he plays. He's not going to put the team on his shoulders and carry him to victory. He's no Hendon Hooker. Tennessee's defense kept them in so many games last year. The Alabama game, we didn't score a point in the first half, and it was only 7-0. We had Jermod McCoy who made that interception, which is the play of the year. And our defense kept us in there to where we could at least have a chance to win. And if Nico played pretty good, we would win for the most part. But he's going to have to carry this team, UCLA, and I don't think he can. and they're getting ready to go into the Big Ten and that conference. Now, they've got a couple of easy games, but other than those, it's going to be tough because they don't have a defense right now that I can really see. Now, granted, that Dampier guy was special, so maybe some of that was just he's so good, but they ran the ball on them so easily with their running backs. Utah's a good team. So anyway, the first week, it's pretty obvious that Tennessee's better off with Joey. I don't think there's any question. 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions against an okay team. Look, Syracuse defense wasn't great, but, you know, they're not little sisters of the poor either. They won 10 games last year. And Fran Brown, man, he went for it on 4th down so much. He played like he was behind. He played like he was back down by 40. From the beginning of the game, he was like, we're behind 40. I'm going for every 4th down. I'm going for everything. I'm not going to kick the field goal. I'm going for a touchdown every time. And it worked out. They got 28 points, really. We'll call it 26, but they were going for 2 every time. I mean, they were playing with their hair on fire like, you know. I give Fran Brown credit for that. Going after it like he did, that's probably the way to play Tennessee, honestly. It reminds me of a couple years ago when we'd be playing South Carolina, Missouri, and they were just throwing everything but the kitchen sink at us because they were scared to death of that offense. But anyway, you got to give the first week to Joey, and there's no question. And for all the folks that were like, yeah, we should have paid Nico, we should have paid him. No. And that's why I don't miss him. I didn't miss him weeks ago, and I told you that. I missed the opportunity to get whatever quarterback we wanted in December. Had he left then, we could have had 30 quarterbacks to choose from. We were lucky that Joey was available and that he's a pretty darn solid quarterback. He's got a good arm. It's not a great arm. He's going to throw 60% this year, folks. I'll go ahead and tell you, you're not going to see the 70% or 65. You're going to see 60. But he's also going to make some great throws, and he's got moxie. And you cannot put a price on moxie. You know, some quarterbacks just have it. That Dampier guy, whew, man. How about Thomas Castellanos? There's a guy with some moxie. It's just that ability to get it done when you really need it. You know, there was a couple of times when Joey, got out of the pocket and then made a real nice throw for a touchdown instead of just airmailing it. It's so easy to overthrow that when you're running forward and you got to make a nice tight pass. It's so easy for it to just get out of your hands too early because you got all that momentum. He didn't do that. You've got to be calm. I think Joey's a calm guy out there. As calm as you can be anyway. And it's probably because, look, he came from, when it comes to football royalty, he came from a junior college. He had to prove every single thing he's gotten. He's had to earn it the hard way. He didn't have a bunch of talent and everybody was like just throwing money at him. Oh, no. He had to just scrape and crawl for everything he's gotten. So it's easy to root for that dude. And I think Tennessee should be pretty darn pleased with Joey Aguilar. That's for sure. Certainly after week 1, the moves that happened this offseason weren't as bad as a lot of people thought. And we're going to keep doing this comparison. And like I said, I hope both these guys just stay super healthy. I expect Nico to have some improvement because now this is his second year. But there's just some shortcomings there that are problematic. And I think they're going to see that at UCLA. This feels like a 4-win team, 5-win team at best at UCLA because, look, Utah's really good. So it's really hard to judge UCLA against a quality club like Utah. They're going to win some games, but I don't see them. They're going to struggle to get to a bowl game. Anyway, if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's continue to cover all these big college sports stories. If you've not subscribed, boom, boom, and boom, hit that button right there. It won't cost you a dime. Help you get my videos. And right over here is the most recent video, YouTube. Thanks, you'll enjoy. We'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.
And nobody can hang with my stuff. I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine. If you ain't first, you're last. You know what I'm talking about?